Welcome back to the Scaredy Cat Guide, my friends. My name is Ginny, and today we are talking about the three Caballeros in Disney's Epcot. If you're new here, this is the channel where we talk about theme parks and anxiety. We talk about sensory issues and really just anything that you might want to know if you're an anxious rider like I am. Now, the Three Caballeros is a ride that I feel like a lot of people miss. It is super cute, super fun, and it almost always has a very short wait time. However, like with any ride, there are a couple of things that we need to talk about, especially if you have anxiety or any sensory issues of any kind. So without further ado, let's dive into those details. This fun-filled fiesta contains animatronics, some Small World-style dolls, and also 4 singing and dancing Day of the Dead themed skeletons. Now let's start off by talking about these animatronics. Now, these are limited to those Small World-style dolls and the 3 Caballeros you'll see performing at the end of the ride. Now, they all have limited movement and are pretty friendly faces as long as you don't find the dolls themselves inherently creepy. In my opinion, they're very on par with It's a Small World, maybe even a little less creepy. However, they are dolls all the same, and proceed with caution if you or someone in your party doesn't particularly care for them. Now, as I said, you will encounter some skeletons that are up on an arch above you. Now, these are very stylized, and there's only 4 of them. They're just singing and dancing as you slowly pass underneath them. They have that Day of the Dead look, so they're not really creepy as much as they are stylized and kind of artsy to look at. Now, I also wanted to briefly mention the sensory elements here. So we don't have any special effects to speak of, but there are some bright and colorful visuals, including balloons, party lights, and even fireworks towards the end of the attraction. Now, I would say that this ride in general is more fun than overstimulating and not terribly loud or anything like that. Now let's talk about those ride vehicles. Now what we have here are individual boats that seat about 15 guests in 5 rows. Now these are very similar to what you'll see on It's a Small World or even Pirates of the Caribbean. This ride is incredibly fast loading because they fit so many onto the ride vehicle. Of course, we have no restraints to speak of or anything like that. So if you are familiar with some of those other rides you'll find over in Magic Kingdom, this one will be very similar. Now, when it comes to the ride duration, the Gran Fiesta Tour starring the 3 Caballeros clocks in at a whopping 8 minutes long. Now, this is a pretty hefty ride duration. Like many of the other water-based dark rides, it is very slow moving. You really are going through these show scenes at a crawl, but there is so much going on that to me, it really doesn't seem to drag. I was actually really surprised when I found out that this ride is actually 8 minutes long. I would have guessed that it was around 4 minutes. Like the other standard dark rides you'll find around the parks. But if the ride duration is something that is important to you, just be aware that it is around 8 minutes long and it can take a little while to get off the ride, as there is often a little bit of backup when you're disembarking at the loading station. And now that you have all the facts, let's actually go hop in line. Now this one, like I said, has a very short wait time usually. It is almost always a walk-on, so let's go do this together. You'll find the entrance to this attraction in the Mexico Pavilion in Epcot's World Showcase. Now, this is an interesting attraction in the sense that you will not find the entrance to the queue outside. You actually have to go into the Mexican Pavilion before you actually see the entrance. Now, the queue itself is entirely indoors, and it can be found directly outside of the loading station. It's really a lot like Living with the Land in the sense that you can see the entire line from the boat itself. So after winding through this line, you will meet a cast member who will send you onto the ride vehicle and you can disembark. Now, this attraction begins by circling around the massive Aztec pyramid before entering the temple. Now, from the start, this ride might look a little more intimidating than it actually is. I always found it tonally very different at the beginning because you're in this kind of dark, very realistically themed area where you see the restaurant and things like that inside the Mexican Pavilion. But once you actually go inside the temple, it's a much different ride. It's very happy, very family friendly. So don't be intimidated at the very start. Really, the beginning is nothing like the rest of the ride. Now, once inside, you'll find Jose and Panchito as they search for their third caballero, Donald. You'll pass a few scenes of Donald enjoying the wonders of Mexico on screen as his friends trail closely behind him. Now, the next scene is straight out of It's a Small World, and it's where you'll find those dancing Day of the Dead skeletons, you'll find the dolls. Again, I would say that they're a little less creepy than the dolls that we'll find on It's a Small World, but I could see them being a little bit unexpected on a ride like this, so just be prepared if you don't care for dolls. Now afterwards, you'll come across even more scenes of Donald enjoying Mexico before entering a beautiful nighttime scene lit by party lights and even fireworks above you. Finally, we'll pass the reunited three caballeros as they sing you back towards the loading station. Now these are the most advanced animatronics in the ride, but they're still pretty basic. They still have pretty limited movement, and of course they are friendly faces, so they're not too intimidating, at least for me. Now with that, we will find ourselves right back at the loading station where a cast member will escort you off and send you on towards the exit. Now, of course, exiting this ride is just as easy as it was coming in. You will follow this little hallway until you end up right back in the Mexico Pavilion. And there we have it. What do you think about Gran Fiesta Tour starring the three caballeros? It's such a long name that I usually just abbreviate it to the three caballeros, but I do want to know what you guys think about it, so let me know in the comments below. I find this ride very fun. It's something that I think a lot of people don't even realize is there because it's tucked away into the Mexico Pavilion. And overall, it's a very fun, pretty relaxing little boat ride that really can be perfect for the entire family. Now, of course, if you liked this video and you would like to see more like it, don't forget to like, subscribe, stick around, stay a while. We would love to have you in our little community of anxious riders. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one.